Good evening, everybody. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Welcome back to Football Bloody Hell. And I'm back with my co-host, Carl Levy. How are you, my man?
Yeah, not too bad, other than finding out you get a fake line below the negative and thinking you're all fine. You get tested positive. I just got my code 24 hours yesterday. So, you know what? I'm just sitting here waiting for PCR test and see where this goes, but bloody hell. I didn't expect my new year to start off with it like that. So let's just put that one out the way.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, Andrew Walker's in the same situation, isn't he? So,
yeah.
He's in the same situation as you, waiting for that
but,
to come
but,
back.
But he's had to get his PCR test kit on Wednesday. I had to go to the drive-thru today. So it's a bit
lucky. No, but you're part of the lucky you can go to a drive-thru because you drive.
Yeah,
like me and Andrew who don't drive have got to fucking go through all the...
What? Yeah, it's stupid.
To be fair, right, when I went for my PCR 5-6 weeks ago, I just went with my dad in the car, right? But if it was just me, I'd have to go down myself.
Yeah.
But where to bloody start for the last 4 weeks of football because it's been absolutely mental. But we're going to start up here. Scottish football being shut down early, which is it's a fucking nonsense.
It was a joke. Where was the evidence? Where was the evidence for that?
There was no evidence for it.
No.
I'm not going to get political because I think it's kind of boring. Not what this is all about, but it was a joke. I was at the Hibs Aberdeen game 2 days before. Do you think me, Charlie and Jack were social distancing? No, we were jumping about like idiots. Is anybody social distancing? No, there was a crowd of 14,000 there. Right, there's no proof that any infections come from football. So anything that the SNP put out is fake news. To quote Donald Trump, it's fake news. I just think the government fucking hate football, and we're getting treated like.
This has been an ongoing fight since 2 years now. 2 years now. When I think it was just that summer when Aberdeen players got all COVID, and niggas says you don't get your act together, you show the red card. It's like, are you telling me you're trying to suspend football? You're trying to suspend football because they got acted? It's not their fault. So to be quite honest with you, this has been ongoing between the football authorities and the Scottish government for nearly 2 years now.
Yeah, the Hibs players. Look at the Hibs players having a piss up after the St Johnstone final. Just before the summer there. Don't get me wrong, I was fucking totally against it, but they all had a piss up.
Yeah.
Just think the whole thing with Rangers winning the league. They players got COVID. Nathan Patterson was one of the players that was out and got caught breaking the rules. But big congratulations to him on his move when that gets completed.
Oh, probably the right move for him.
11 million rising to 16.
Right move for him because Everton need a desperate for a right back because Seamus
Coleman's finished.
He's done, yeah.
And John Joe Kenny, isn't good enough.
No.
Wasn't good enough for Celtic last season, never mind playing for Everton.
He wasn't even good enough for Schalke as well the season before that as well because it was...
thing we had on there, what's his name? David Wagner.
Yeah.
Player just isn't good enough to play Premier League football.
No,
and they've got a problem at left back as well.
But I think getting Moloko from Dean McKibbis is the right move as well. And I think Lucas Dion is going to likely go because Rafa's just go tired of he's not coming back, trotting back. So this is not a surprise as well. But with this situation in Scottish football, it was a joke. I think limit to 500 fans was not going to make no sense.
It's true what Postecoglou said up at St Johnstone. He went, I didn't want this. He went, did anyone enjoy that?
No.
I was really, really good for him.
I applaud him for that because Neil Lennon couldn't even stand up to the Scottish government last year. Neil Lennon didn't have a fucking foot to stand on last year. Exactly.
Yeah. And you look at what he said.
But Ange does. And Ange can say words, and he's bloody Australian. He can say the word he's saying because he's not going to take no crap from someone like the First Minister.
I think he's been a breath of fresh air. in Scottish football. I think he's been so good to listen to. His team's fantastic to watch.
Yeah, I can't agree with that one.
The pressing football, the proper heavy metal football. Sort of reminds me sort of Jurgen Klopp, early Liverpool.
Yeah.
We're just going to score more than you. You know, because they're quite bad at the back still. I mean, if it wasn't for Joe Hart, they're not winning that cup final against Hibs for me.
No, that is
Joe
a good
Hart pulled
point.
off 2 great saves. I mean, I'm still bitter about that fucking final because John Beaton was an absolute joke. Now I know how you Hearts fans felt. 2 finals in a row and he's done yous.
Yeah.
I mean, to go into Scottish football, yes, Celtic were the better team over the piece, but we weren't playing on a level playing field. We were playing against 12, 13 men. And when your defenders are fucking idiots like Paul Hanlon, in fact, give what I'll get to the whole back 4, back 5. They switched off for that second goal, which, don't get me wrong, that love for Kyogo's beautiful.
He's a little gem, Kyogo. I like him.
Another gem there, eh?
Yeah, I think Celtic are gonna have to keep him really hard for the next few years because the big clubs will look at him, and I think this Japanese contingency, players it's coming in at the moment, and you can see like a mini Wolves, like how they done with the Portuguese players. I feel like it's going to happen with that.
Yeah. The thing is, Postecoglou's a good manager. You can see he knows what he wants to do with his players, and he's not going to change his system for anyone.
No.
And I've listened to a couple of interviews and I'm just like, I could listen to you all day. Listen to you all day long. It's a bit like I could listen to John Hughes all day, talk about football.
Yeah.
The passion. He's just a proper football man, and obviously, since we last spoke, Gerrard's left. Well, Gerrard's been replaced by Van Bronckhorst, which even he's changed the system at Rangers. He's changed to a 4-2-3-1 from a 4-3-3.
I think it was right because I think there was some certain players could get in that squad, So
I've not been impressed with Rangers all season.
No, neither I. Despite the managerial change,
I think if Celtic win in February, I think they'll go on and win the league.
I think it is a lot of pressure now for Gio because he knows now because of how Celtic have been playing.
I think this season he can get a pass though.
He can get a pass because it's gonna be. It's not
his team, is it?
No, I think come later this summer you will see what team that he will keep and what he will buy, and that will be like this is his team, So he's only working what he's got at the moment because I mean, Morelos was not playing much under Gerrard the last few weeks before Gerrard left, so it was a bit of a change.
It was a weird one.
Yeah,
I don't think Morelos has been seen since that cup final, the semi-final against Hibs. Paul Hanlon, as much as I've just abused him for the final, pocketed him in that semi-final. He was ineffective. He was so ineffective.
He was very ineffective, man.
Him, Rangers and Hampden just don't go.
It's never worked that well for him.
I mean, I think it sort of reminds me. Remember the League Cup final a couple of years ago when he missed the penalty?
Yeah.
I just think mentally, I think Hampden beats him. Now, he's a cracking player. I actually really like him. I like the fact he's dirty. I like the fact he'll kick players, and I like a dirty striker.
I don't think he'll suit a big. I want to say like a Sevilla club, like Sevilla now. I think that's that's gone. That's already gone. That judge is gone.
I think he's going to end up a bit like Edouard, ending up at a Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
As much as Edouard's done well though, he's made Benteke look unbelievable again.
Yeah.
But this winter break coming, it's just came at the wrong time for Hibs. We just replaced Jack Ross, which I got behind Jack Ross again, and then we lost against Livingston. I was speaking to a good couple of mates. Where
did it go wrong for Ross? Where did it go wrong for him?
Where the fuck do we start? So obviously we lost a lot of big games last season. Right, this probably goes back to pre-COVID. Right, when he first came in, he lost 3-1 to you lot. The last game before COVID, you remember that game? So he starts the next season. He does a clear out. He brings in the likes of Kevin Diz, but Who else did he bring in? Fuck. Jamie Murphy, Chris Cadden. I'm struggling to think of players he's brought in. Obviously brought Macy in. I think that's been a good... He's brought in some good players, but the inability to win big games is a massive one for Hibs fans. I know he finished third, but third in what league? Celtic were there for the taking for second. I said it all last year. Right?
They were.
And the inability to do it and nearly fucking it up with Aberdeen, probably the worst Aberdeen team we've seen in just about 10 years.
Yeah, it's probably since McInnes left, actually. Yeah,
since before McInnes came in. So, and I mean, we should have whitewashed that. We probably should have finished second.
Do you think as well, with where Hearts is at the moment, that why that played a part of him going? Because Hearts... Yeah,
you're doing really well. I think that always plays a part in both clubs. It done Robbie Nielsen, didn't it?
Yeah, he did.
It absolutely done Robbie in his first term. I know he left by mutual consent and went to MK Dons, but he'd lost the fans after we won the cup. So I think that done a lot of fans. Wasn't to do with anything like the Hearts connection being at Hearts, because we've traded coaches and players and that many things. But I think what it came down to this year, he picked up a possible 4 of 27 points. And that's not good enough at Hibs.
Yes, no, it's not.
But I'm going to stick up for him here, right? I've got to give a 50-50 view, right? In the summer, he was done by Graham Matthew. And Graham Matthew is a fucking dick for this. You know, you remember the mess on transfer deadline day, right? Scott Allen and Dre Wright and the deal collapsed. And you're like, how can the players be reintegrated to the squad?
That's hard.
They've been told they're going, you know, and I think he's been done there. He asked for a striker. He got James Scott, who it's came out, he's too fat and he's unfit. He's a professional footballer. He plays for his club's actually Hull. Hull are in the Championship.
Yeah.
No wonder they took one look and went, you can get the fuck. The mad thing is, he left Motherwell 2 years ago for 750,000. And I think Motherwell would be sitting going like, 750k for that? What?
Yeah.
How did we do that? So yeah, the squad was just threadbare. Yeah, it was good keeping Nisbet and Porteous and Doig. Wasn't a good transfer window. I think a lot of us fibbed ourselves into thinking, oh, it's a good transfer window. We've still got Doig, we've got Nisbet. Kevin Nisbet, the same player, scored 3 goals this season. He's not been the same. He's not been the same since his dad died. I'm going to be honest. He's not been the same player. And I think he's read, so he had to delete his Twitter.
Yeah,
he had to delete his Twitter
at
the start of last season. And that's down to Hibs fans' abuse, which isn't on. And I'm guilty of it myself, so I can't have a full go. Because I got caught out. I've been caught out a couple of times with it. I'm terrible for cussing Paul Hanlon. Terrible for it. But he doesn't give a fuck. But, you know, you dick him with Nisbet's mentality's like, you don't know how much losing his dad's affected him. And he's been playing as a lone striker. He's not a lone striker.
That's the one thing. When I saw Keeks watching, I'm thinking, where's that support? If you're playing him as a lone striker, where's the support?
You played Boyle next to him. Boyle's not big in, you know. Nisbet played his best football when Doidge was up there taking all the knocks for him.
Yeah.
And we lost Christian Doidge to a bad injury. We had him back for about 4 games and then, you know, he got a bad injury. And injuries have killed some of us this year, and stupid suspensions. Porteous being suspended again. For a nothing, by the way. The whole thing with Aberdeen, to me, it was a nothing.
Yeah,
I was there, I was literally watching it, I was in line with it, and I thought, it's done nothing. But what pisses me off even more about this, right? What's his name? Christian Ramirez does that, right? And he puts it all over Twitter and that. And he gets a ban. Yet Paul McGinn, after the Celtic game, has been cited for bringing the game into disrepute for his comments against the referee.
Yeah.
You know, it's one. I actually think there's a witch hunt out for Porteous. Now, yeah, he's a bit of an idiot at times, but everyone can see his talent.
Oh
He
yeah,
lets
100%.
he lets himself get dragged into things sometimes, like, but he's just the type of player he is.
Yeah.
He scored the winner in that Aberdeen game. The funny thing is, in that Aberdeen game, the first corner, I'm going, right, Porteous winner. Because I'm what you could, where I was sitting, like the seat situated, you see it so well tactically, and you see they weren't picking Porteous up. And the balls came in, and Porteous got a head on. I thought, come on, that's how it's done. But, you know, did Jack Ross deserve to be sacked? I'd probably say overall he probably did, in the way things go. As well, Ron Gordon's replaced everyone at that club since he took over from Tom Farmer. You know, Dempster, Matthew, everyone at the academy's basically gone, I think.
Yeah.
You know, we've brought Steve Keenan as academy director, and people have been slagging that. I suggest you go and look at some of the young players that have been coming through Blackburn the last 5-10 years. Look at the money that, you know, I look at Ben Brereton right now.
Yeah.
Look at some of the players there. I suggest you go and look at their youth system and the job he done at Blackburn. Don't look at his managerial reign. Phil Jones. As much as he's a meme now, when he first came through, he was, Jesus, that was 10 years ago now. Wow. You know, 10 years ago, Phil Jones came through and looked, you know, the worst quote ever by Sir Alex Ferguson. He's got a bit of Duncan Edwards, and I was just like, that's a sore one. I hope I hope he plays well tonight. I really do. Hope he plays well tonight, because the quote about him getting his testimony, like, oh, no one would turn up's horrible. And I look upstairs at how you got Ben Kensel, who we brought in for Norwich in the summer, to replace like Leanne Dempster and that, and you know, everything's changed upstairs. New owner always wants a new manager, doesn't he?
He does, and I think that was
it was a ticking time bomb. It was a ticking time bomb, wasn't it? And I think, you know, we're obviously in talks with a couple of managers, and then Sean Maloney comes, and I got like a message off a couple of like, listen, Maloney's going to be the man. And obviously he was at Hampden for the Celtic final, and then to see it be at his first game was brilliant. And he's totally changed the way we're going to play football. I think it's going to be, to quote John Collins, passing, moving, tempo. It's going to be very technical. And if anyone watched the Dundee United game, he made a couple of changes from the Aberdeen game, and it looks like it's all going to be positive going forward. And he says something about Nisbet. He looks like he could play well as a false nine. Like, you know, like dropping in and
dropping in.
He looked pretty good to me for that. I don't think we're going to get that 4 or 5 million we all thought we were going to get from him. Sadly,
no.
Unless he picks it up after the winter break, you know, go into it. You've got 2 wins under the belts, and we go in and go, right, let's kick on second half of the season. You know, Hearts are sitting. He's sitting 3rd or 4th.
We're saying 3rd at the moment. Actually, we still say 3rd. So
you know, Hearts have came up, and just look through your squad. I just see experience.
A lot of experience. We've been signing we just got one of the players from Melbourne City who looks going to be a good player alongside one of the Aussie players. So I think we are kind of going to the right places, but still have issues with certain black holes. But yeah,
and just like, you know, you're in a funny place going into the winter break. It's been a bit here and there.
You
won the last game before going into the winter break, which is always important.
It was important. We needed to win that game because I think Motherwell have been decent last year. So, and that's why we needed that win to win before that winter break, just to give us a bit of a breathing gap at the moment. But I think at the moment, how we've done is been tremendous. I think that I thought it was going to be between you and my team and your lot.
I think we're going to get back up there and be fighting for third. I'm going to be honest. I
I
didn't see
think
it. I didn't see it in Aberdeen, right? I didn't think they've got it. This revolution that's gone on under glass doesn't look good. And
no, it doesn't. I've questioned that. I've questioned that now. I've questioned it a lot more now lately. It don't look good, and
I
I
get
don't know
what he's
how
trying to
long.
do. I get what he's
Yeah,
trying to do. I can see it. But they players are Derek McInnes players still. And Derek
it's McKinnon's
McInnes was
boys.
anti-football.
Yeah,
He was so anti-football, it was unbelievable. I think it'll be us and use for third and fourth. I think
I think
Motherwell,
so. I think Motherwell would just drop down.
they'll fall away. They'll
They'll fall
fall away
away.
because they're going to lose Tony Watt. They've got to take money for him off Dundee United.
They
He's
will
signed a
do.
pre-contract. He wants to go. I think that's a mad transfer personally.
Yeah, I
I
do as
think
well.
I think he's a fucking idiot. I think he's an idiot. Personally. Like they're obviously offering him ridiculous money because Motherwell have resurrected that guy's career.
Yes.
I thought you should be backing for him personally.
It was a talks about that, but it still don't because we felt we were happy what we got. I think that was a problem, and I think
You still
well,
need a striker though.
yeah, we still think we need a striker. That's one thing I would agree, but I don't think we'll look at that till at least the summer now. I think that is off between. Maybe we'll get one before the end of the transfer, but I think it's more likely going to be the summer where things do think what's going on behind the scenes at the club. Then we'll know what we need to do. So.
See, to me at Hearts, right, it doesn't look great, right, because there was talks of Craig Gordon leaving, that you weren't offering him the money he wanted.
And then we give him
and
2
then
years.
you gave him it. Now, he's the best goalkeeper in the league outside Joe Hart and McGregor.
Yeah.
You just look at his exploits for Scotland, man. He's been class. But I just look at like Jamie Walker's looking to leave seemingly. Give me a second. I'm just going to get this message up from our good friend Douglas. He sent me. Who's the players? Suter, Harron, and Gordon now. Peter Harron, we know, is not getting on with. It's a well-known thing he doesn't get on with.
But he started a lot more games this season. I think there was
he's starting again.
Yeah. There was a lot. I don't know what happened with the championship season. I don't know what happened, but this season.
I think it was his knees. I think it was confidence. It was confidence in him. Because he's a good player. I like him.
Yeah, because he was out for quite a bit.
What,
and that's why I think. Yeah, 2 years.
But I mean, we've already basically confirmed 2 players. Harry Clark's coming from Arsenal, who was at Ross County, to the end of the season with a view to permanent. He's out of contract at Arsenal at the end of the season, and there's a lad who from the Norwegian league, it's the Norwegian or Swedish league, Bodo Glint, who Celtic face in their Europa Conference. He's been on loan in the second division and he's scored ridiculous amount of goals. Suppose the Hibs have basically sorted it for what I can read in reports. Which, I mean, tells me a lot that Maloney's going to get what he wants. There were also been linked with Ewan Henderson for Celtic.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're getting Nathaniel Axon in that right back row. I think it was kind of needed because I did worry with some of our players were not playing right back because if we were playing the formation, so we didn't have like a proper right back. So getting someone like Nathaniel Axon is probably better for us because I think we need a bit more depth on that right hand side. To
he's coming. He's in now, isn't he?
He's in now, yeah. So we needed that pace.
He's done his quarantine, isn't he?
Yeah, he's done his quarantine. He should be ready after the winter when the winter break's done. So
same as with Christian Muller, isn't it?
Yeah.
But,
and I think him
got a chance to have a quick wee play with him the other night.
I think him and Cameron Derry will link up quite well because that will be perfect for him to settle down. So
yeah, I think the second half of the season it's going to be Hibs getting back up to third and fourth, competing with yourselves, and you're trying to sort of consolidate it.
Yeah, and that's what we need to do. I think the last 5 games before I think we had a mixed wins. I think that just losing to Celtic was a bit unlucky because we should have been better in that game at Celtic Park, but
Yeah,
we could have got the point. But I think the Rangers game, I think that was
Celtic on it.
yeah, it was just Rangers. We just didn't turn that game against Rangers, and that was a bit of a disappointment. But getting that win at Dundee away was vital because I think
Against 9 players.
yeah.
Come on, have a word. Have a word,
Mm.
man. Dundee, that game should never have been played.
No.
They had to re-register Dave Mackay, who's not played a professional game in 5 years.
Yeah. So
But the rules are the rules. If you've got 14 fit players, you will be, playing the games. I think it's
playing the
wrong.
game. Exactly.
I think it's just wrong. What's going on with that?
Yeah, but we got that the Scottish Cup game against Arnold Talbot. It's going to be interesting because we can't be going into the same situation like we did last season where we did get knocked out by non-league. This cannot happen again the second time around because and it's away from home, and that is
I remember the last time he's played Auckland like Talbot, man.
Yeah.
Is it Gordon Smith who scored? Is his name Gordon Smith?
Yeah, Gordon Smith was at the club. Yeah.
I'm sure Gordon Smith scored the winner. Right, here's a bit of fact for you. Right, every time you've played them, you've made the final.
That is an interesting thing, actually. So
2012, he's played them. The year he's pumped us.
Yeah, we've pumped you 4-5-1. So
5-1. And see the first time he's played Celtic when they were going for treble.
Yeah.
I think it was Lenny's first one. When he was in interim charge. He's played them that year and he's made the final, so but the whole Suter situation, do you get rid of him in January? I think you've got to try and take money for him.
If there's no contract, I will say give it to now next week. Between now and 2 weeks' time, if there's no contract signed, I think we'll have to take the money because I think there's a point.
He wants to leave, man. He wants to leave. It's been the talk for ages.
It's been talk for the last 12 months now, 12 to nearly 18 months.
To me, I think he owes Hearts.
Yeah,
I think he fucking owes, man. Like, it's funny from Hibs' point of view, like, but see if I was a Hearts fan, I think he's a wank. It's kind of like Gary Caldwell done this to Hibs back in the day. He signed a pre-contract with Celtic, and it made us sick because we gave him his chance in football.
Yeah,
he was at Newcastle. He came in on loan when Frank Sosie was there, and then he came back permanently, and he got his big move. And he went Celtic. They go straight to Wigan.
Yeah, he did.
He goes to Wigan. We were a bit like yourselves, a platform to go and play for, an old firm or a club in England. I mean, he's not even going to a big club in England. Blackburn Rovers.
Well, it's not only Blackburn as well, Nottingham Forest as well too. They have be set. They are set to submit a pre-contract offer to give to Sutter as well. So those two clubs are going to be fighting now for that because
for me, I'm not going to either of their clubs. They're a mess.
Well, not on the Steve Cooper at the moment.
I'm not talking about I'm talking about upstairs, man.
Yeah, I know the upstairs is a bit of a joke with those
clubs.
And
the Venkies still don't realise what relegation is.
No.
If I'm Suter, I'm staying. I'm staying at Hearts. Chance of playing European football next season, and then get your move. You get a bigger, better club. You'll get a Norwich. You'll get a,
Yeah, no.
I just think he's better than. Do you think he's better than playing for Nottingham Forest? I mean,
I think
he'd go there and be forgot about.
No, he's better than those two clubs, and that is the problem we have. I think this is the thing.
See if it's Celtic or Rangers, I'd understand. You know what I mean?
I would as well
understand because you're going to two clubs that are going to be competing in Europe. I mean, next year they both get Champions League.
Yeah.
Right. I'd be looking at that going. Even stay for another year. Sign a 2-year deal. Make sure Celtic Hearts get some money. I mean, you spent 150k on him.
Yeah,
which
yeah,
I thought was a brilliant deal personally when you signed him. But he's had
yeah,
what was it, 3 back-to-back ACLs,
yeah.
which is a mad one.
Mm.
I just
But
think
this is
I think Suter holds hearts.
it does, and this is the tough one because, like I say, you have Blackburn who is in second at the moment, and you got
Are
Nottingham
they
Forest.
second?
Yeah, they're second. They're like 3 points
Come in,
behind Bournemouth. They're a point ahead Fulham.
come
You got
in.
Nottingham Forest
Tony
who are
Mowbray,
like
mate. Tony
you,
Mowbray.
yeah. You have Nottingham Forest who are 6 points behind the playoffs, and that is the problem. And it's a hard one at the moment. So you make a decision. What do you do? Because if you go to a club like Blackburn, you're going to be in the Premier League next season,
Possibly.
possibly. Yeah,
They're gonna lose Ben Brereton and
Diaz. Yeah, I think
Diaz
he will
Junior,
go.
whatever he's. I've just signed him in FIFA for Derby, and he scored 23 goals for me. So it's just madness, man. Honestly, so mad.
It is.
Right, I've just seen something about Hibs. Hibs have offered a 3.5 year deal to Ewan Henderson, seemingly. I think that's a brilliant deal. I think he's a hell of a player.
I think he will fit well. I think he will do well under Maloney the next few years. I really do.
It's what some of the players have said though. Like Yuri Tillmans, Kevin De Bruyne, they're two of the best midfielders in the world, man. Like De
Yeah.
Bruyne's like, oh, I'm so gutted he's left Belgium. Hibs are going to do so well with him because he's mentality. And I'm like, I'm getting too excited here.
Mm,
And Martinez saying, listen, Hibs will be up there competing with Celtic and Rangers if he's back properly. And I'm going, you know, getting far too excited with myself because it's where Hibs and Hearts should be, up there competing with Celtic and Rangers. Same with
yeah.
Aberdeen. Should be right up there trying to compete with them. If not, fighting it out with ourselves for third. I think us and yous will. I think it's undoubtedly going to happen. Don't know about Aberdeen
No,
because
for Aberdeen.
this revolution's in the bin. They're a total different team without Scott Brown.
Yeah.
They're just no there without Scott Brown there, and he wasn't even there. Wasn't he at the game or nothing?
So
I
something's
mean,
going on then.
nah. I think it's just I don't know if he was suspended though. Don't know if he was suspended because I met Charlie and Jack in the Omni, and the teams came up just as I got in and went, "Nay, Scott Brown, your confidence just goes like." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, you're relying on a 36-year-old Scott Brown. Come on. You can't be relying on an older player like that.
No.
And they've got players potentially leaving. Ryan Hedges, so I think he'd fit in at Hibs, he'd fit in at Hearts, Motherwell, you know, he could probably go back down south. There's a good couple of players in that team that can, going to be leaving.
Yeah, that is a good point
And
because most of the squad are going to be out of contract, which it's going to be.
yeah, I was reading something earlier, and I'm like, there's some fucking revolution going on, isn't there?
Yeah.
But no, I think Hibs and Hearts will be all right this season. I mean, I can't remember what I predicted for you. I said maybe top 3, 4 if you keep that squad together.
Yeah.
And I look at some of the signs like Mackay, Boyce. You've got McAnuff there. You've got I'm trying to think of players now. Beningame.
Yeah.
He's a wee beast. You got Ben Woodburn there. Attacking options you could die for. Maybe the best attacking options you've had for a long, long time.
I would say the last 5 years, or at least the last 4 or 5 years.
I think since maybe that first season in the Championship you've done, when you said the likes of Osman Sow and goals can come. I think that's one thing the Hearts team's got is goals. Might not always perform to standard, but there's goals in that team. And Liam Boyce has been quite injury free for years.
Probably it's been his best fit this season because he's not had his joining the club. Because he had problems before in England as well. I mean, he came up.
Yeah, he got his ACL. He done his ACL about 3 weeks into joining Burton.
Yeah.
And obviously comes up and you paid stupid money for him. When Stendhal was there, or maybe you signed him in January and going, what you sign him for? He's injured. And he played against Rangers. I remember he's beating Rangers 2-0 because the day Gerrard said, I don't know if I'm going to be here much longer.
Yeah.
And I thought, Steddle's ended him. Yes.
I was at the game that day as well.
I know.
Did you remember? Yeah.
Yeah. Was it a boys? It was a boys double, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It was a boys double, yeah. And I thought, oh God, they're going to stay up. I genuinely thought he was going to stay up. And then obviously you get to sort of the end of February, March, and I thought, if we beat them, they're going down. And he's pumped us.
I know.
We got a man sent off. Scott Allen got sent off.
Scott got sent off. Sean Clare scored from the penalty.
What, Mushroom Head?
Yeah.
Big Mushroom. You know he's playing centre back at Oxford?
Yeah, I know. I've been seeing that.
You've seen
and
that?
I've been watching the...
He was a player. I thought he was a good player, Sean Clare. For how he, I mean, should take the piss out of how someone looks, but Jesus Christ. He gave people something to take the piss out of. But he did shut everyone up. He did score. Because I remember him scoring the penalty and being there and being like, shit. And I've been at the point where I don't leave games early. I stopped that after the 5-1. Well, I stayed on in the 5-1. I remember just sitting going, fuck's sake, I'm going to hear about this all year. I'm going to hear about this all fucking year. But we knew we had Hudgies in the cup.
Yeah.
And I thought, we'll get them back in the cup. We'll get it back in the cup. As long as we beat them at Hampden, it doesn't care. It doesn't matter. But obviously, we've never beat us at Hampden yet.
Mm-hmm.
Which, Derby should have been the day, man. The Derby should have been the day. Both should have been at Easter Road tonight.
I know. I 100% agree as well.
Absolutely fucking gutting.
I know. It's...
We're going to have to do a Derby preview.
No, we will do.
We'll do a
and I think, hopefully, because I will go to one of the... I'm going to try to get a ticket for that game as well. So I'm going to try to get a ticket for that away game. So
it's like Willy Wonka's golden tickets.
That is going to be the one I'm going to have to prepare with that one. So yeah.
I think I'll be fine getting a ticket though. That's what I can gather. But no, I think going forward, I think you'll bring in a couple. I think we'll bring in about. I mean, we've all technically got already 2 players in. Christian Miller, I'm so excited to see this boy. American winger. Jack and Charlie, our friends with strong opinion Hibs. Well, all of them I've got their picture taken. Calvin, Jack, and Charlie all got the picture taken of them now. Which I'm like, I should have got a picture of them that day. But I was more thinking, wait till Maloney comes out, and they were like, let's go. But I think the future's bright in Edinburgh for the end of the season.
It looks very bright for both Edinburgh clubs now, and with going in the right direction. I think that's what was missing for quite a bit, because when one team was not doing well, the other team,
was always doing well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, using in the championship, we finished third, right? So obviously we're doing well. Yous came up. We've got to, 2 semi-finals and a cup final. But no, it looked really, really good. The future's very bright in Edinburgh, I'd say. As much as I don't like saying about Hearts, but fuck the old firm.
Same here, I'm like with you lot as well, but yeah, the old firm.
I know. It's a good thing. It may be a good thing Sean couldn't come on the next. I think we'd be getting abused for that.
Yeah, probably will do by Sean.
He'll get us next week or whatever. Right, swiftly moving on. And we're going to go Yorkshire. Obviously, you said before we start recording, do you want to hit it up with the Huddersfield news, because it's quite interesting what's going on down there.
It's interesting. So the last couple of weeks, since during this past summer, there was rumours about Phil Hodgkin, who bought Huddersfield Town, who got promoted after Dean Hoyle sold his stakes to him, majority stake to Hodgkin. And interesting is there's some papers that was on the government website of his company, Pure Business Limited, all his legal and side of things, his legal practice and stuff. They're all now being filed for administration. And
madness, man.
This was huge because he's not the biggest, but he's not the biggest owner we've had down at the Johnson Stadium. But it's a bit of a worry now. And now I think with one of the directors left, who was his right hand man, and I think it was also Dean Hall's right hand man. Dean Hall's now back in the helm as an interim
That's
basis.
a mad one because he's a former owner.
Exactly, and the club still owes Hoyle about £80 million of loan when he bought the club a decade ago. So this is where it was. So this is now what is happening now. So Huddersfield now in the top in like 6th place now in the place.
Yeah, I know.
They're fighting for playoffs at the moment. But the problem is there's been interest in that the club might be back on the market some point.
See, when they got promoted, right, and it looked like something was happening there with Wagner being in charge there. That weird thing they got up with scoring no goals. Gave Man United a doing. Was it once or twice we gave us a doing?
Twice. He gave us, yeah.
It's one under Ole and once under Jose, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And so, do you see some of the players there? You're just going, fuck, who the fuck are this lot? You know what I mean? Huddersfield. I mean, is Jordan Rhodes back there?
He's back at the club and he's been doing quite well since he's back to Huddersfield. Actually, I think we all knew, and this is for me when I was watching Huddersfield Town at that time when Rose in, they didn't want him to go, and I think when the Blackburn gave us that money, when Blackburn gave us money when even they just got relegated, you could see this was not the right move, and I think being back at Huddersfield, he's always had a soft spot for the club.
It's his home,
it's his home. It's his permanent home. He's also since after Roy Keane sold him off when he was at Ipswich, which to this day, a lot of Ipswich fans thinking, if we still had Jordan Rhodes.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah.
He was ripping it up in the 23s.
Exactly.
Absolutely ripping it up. And I've heard stories like Jordan Rhodes, he just wasn't himself when he went to Blackburn. In the Championship, I've heard a lot of
I could tell from the body language. So when I was there at the parade, after the one they got to the one to the Championship, I was at the parade that year. The body language was not right. I could see it on the top of the bus. When I was looking from when he was on the bus, I could see his body language was not right. Same when he got into when it was at the town hall, he was not right. There was talks about that for a while, and it was just you could tell that the club had no choice. The arm was they had one arm behind.
Did they go to Norwich as well?
He did a bit, and then that didn't work out for a bit, and then he went to Sheffield Wednesday. And
but there's a whole host of strikers that went there, Scottish strikers. Stephen Fletcher went there. Stephen Fletcher, he still scored goals. Josh Windass is there. Callum Patterson's there, former Hearts man.
Yeah.
They got a wee thing for Scottish strikers in it, the last sort of period.
Yeah, they have done.
But no, it's typical Huddersfield, right? Things are going well on the field, and up the stairs is going to shit.
Which would never happen. Which never happened a decade ago. It never did that. I remember I went to the club a decade ago, and I could see the club was well run under League One.
Always looked well.
Yeah, 11-12. So they were operating more like a championship team in League One.
So under Lee Clark in that.
Yeah, Lee Clark was there, and I spoke with him quite a few times. And
he's a wedge, man.
He was a good person for that club for us at the time, and I think when Town got to the Premier League, I think that was where Dean Hoyle couldn't realise him having $250 million as his net worth. It was not enough.
Wasn't good enough.
No, it wasn't.
You can't survive on that in the Premier League unless you've got an unbelievable manager who can pull rabbits out of a hat. I don't even think prime Sam Allardyce is saving Huddersfield.
No,
you know what I mean? It was horrible the way Huddersfield went down that year. It was horrible.
I think because
just going.
Yeah, but behind the scenes, more like because the club kept quiet with Dean Hoyle's health, it was circulating around social media, but no one didn't want to say it because they know that if they say something, they're gonna Dean Hoyle's will come at them. So we all knew what was going on, and that's what affected why the club was struggling. And there was one point it was going to be sold to someone in the US for who
Yeah, I
owned
remember that.
the Washington Wizards and all that stuff. That never happened. Then Dean Hall gave it to his best mate who was already on the board, Hodgkin, who had a bit of a stake at Southport before he had to sell that off. And they were
Because you're not allowed to have stakes in two clubs in England at once. It's the Football League rules.
exactly. So with Hoyle still has 25% of the club, Hodgkins has 75%. But because we knew Hodgkins' businesses is behind this, his other business not being good, it's now in administration now, and they're likely to go in liquidation as well. So I would watch this space if Town does look at new ownership come in the next couple of months and probably the summer.
You'd be looking at that as a prospective owner, right? There's sixth place. If I can go in there, I can back. Who's the manager?
It is Carlos Caban, who was the former Leeds under-23 coach, who really did well with Bielsa.
Bielsa's man, right? Yeah.
So,
see, the thing is, you'd go in there as a prospective owner and think, this doesn't need too much right now. Back the manager, make sure you can keep Jordan Rhodes, Rolando Aarons, and keep the players there. There's that midfielder Leeds wanted,
Lewis O'Brien. I think
Lewis
he said
O'Brien.
I think that's dead in the water now.
You give him a new deal. The important players, you wrap them up in contracts a little bit, and you give the manager a bit of money. It's not going to need much to stay in that top six, I don't think.
No, and I don't think it will do.
A good bit of backup off the bench.
And also, you've got a very decent crowd going to the games as well.
Yeah.
That is one of the strengths that Otis
I think it's a weird stadium looking at it. It's a weird
It is a weird stadium, don't get me wrong. I think what Huddersfield are trying to do as well, what the club is trying to do in the next couple of years, they are going to try to convert the stuff outside the stadium, such as the golf, driving golf range and the car park into entertainment venues, so the money will pour into the club. So that is what
like a business park.
Yeah, like a business park, but more entertainment, like cinemas, restaurants. So they want that to be a bit more like an entertainment
create
club.
a family thing there.
So and a ski resort as well too, which they want to have behind, like So that is what they're trying to do, and I think they will do it. If a new owner does come in, I think the new owner will pump that money in and actually just get that money self-funded from the HD1 complex scheme, and that is the next thing they want to do. Yeah. So I would say that's what the percentage owner is going to have is some really good future.
Even if you don't go up this season, compete in the playoffs, right? Make sure you got players coming in that manager wants. Moving on to Leeds, right? Bielsa lost his right-hand man in the summer there, right?
2 years ago, yeah.
2 years ago there, right? Now, he's done well the first year. You cannot complain about that. Obviously, was it 8 first-team players you've got, basically?
9,
right? You played Tyler Roberts as a false 9 last night. I thought, for what I've seen, he'd done really well. You said previously you didn't think he's quite up to the mark, but...
No, I did say that.
I think it's... What's the saying? It's round pegs and square holes. Square pegs and round holes, sorry. It leads a lot of it just now. Do you think Bielsa sees out the end of the season?
I think he will do now. I think he will do. I think
you've got a cushion on that bottom 3, haven't you?
We do. 8 points clear now. And I think that win last night was very vital because if we did not get that win, I think we would still struggle. And this is the thing, because I was saying to my dad, I would argue with my dad about this in the last few weeks about Leeds. And he's the old school Leeds fan, and that's it. I'm the new school. And he always said, he backed the club. And I said, I backed the club to a certain extent. If our players are not performing, who do we question? And that was the problem. And
is it the manager? Is it the fan? Is it the players? Is it the board?
Some of the minority of the fans, I don't get them. I did not get some of the minority fans who give a bit of abuse to Bielsa and some of the players. I don't get them.
Oh, mate, it's rife. The abuse for Bielsa. And I'm obsessed with him. I absolutely love the guy. As much as it pains me because he's fucking Leeds. But you can't not respect some of what he's done in his career and finally coming to... You've only got to ask Pep Guardiola what he thinks of him. I think thinks he's basically the god of football along with Cruyff.
Yeah, yeah. It's the last few weeks. It was just a nightmare, and especially with that 7-0 loss at Man City, it was.
Mate, you're playing one of the best teams in the fucking world.
We are, and
Mate,
that
they
was the
don't even
thing.
play with a striker, come on. And they're 11 points ahead of Chelsea and Liverpool. And look at them yesterday. Couldn't they fucking buy a win off each other?
No,
They've either of them drop points again, they're out of it. Completely out if they're not already. Liverpool looked so shaky at the back yesterday, I thought.
they did.
Van Dijk's meant to be this fucking best defender in the world. Pulisic sent him for donkeys. Sent him for hot dogs, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Sent him for hot dogs on that second goal. I mean, that was a hell of a game yesterday, but
It was.
who do you think he's going to bring in January? Because I think there's going to be players needed.
We've been linked with John Swift from Reading, who's in his last.
I've seen that. Aye, he's a good player, man.
He looks. That looks. But I think he will. I don't think he will go because the problem is Reading's in a bit of a relegation battle at the moment, and that's gonna be hard to price him off. He's So there is a few players that we've been looking at, but I think what we do need to know. At one point, we were linked with Winston McKinney from Juventus, which was a bit of a
Stop going for these international idiots.
I know, and that's the thing, and that's why I don't
players
want
that know the fucking league.
That's why I want.
That's been the problem in the first half of the year. The likes of Firpo, and that Firpo doesn't know the league.
No,
he's had to adjust to the league.
And he had one good game. He's had one good game, which was yesterday. Yeah. It was his best game for quite since he joined the club. So at the moment we are looking at players that is in England. We need players who will give a fight.
That's why O'Brien from Huddersfield made sense.
And it would have done, and it would until the club's now backed up. It just gave it the legs of it. Just
pay the fucking money. The user are rival to Huddersfield.
Hey, I agree.
The club position, right? But just pay the fucking money. I mean, Daniel James, he's done it twice, but spend 20 million on him. Did not even question it. That deal came out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100% agree.
Pay the fucking money, but he's overpaid for him.
We did, and that's the thing. Yeah, so
I mean, we got our money back, and then some, and it's still to rise to 30 million.
Oh, bloody hell! Yeah, that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think maybe that's why the deal never happened, because you have went like that to United. Right, there's the money. I don't know who's the negotiator at United doing that deal, but fucking well done.
Yeah, so that was a problem, and also the situation we're hearing rules up. I think we just need to get players,
man.
So my dad does not believe this, but I do about the problem with him and Bielsa, and there has been a rift, and I think they have made. Man. Yeah, there has been a rift.
1 second,
but they've made up.
Yeah, but see, because that rift's happened, I think obviously Bielsa's got the run of the club.
But I think Bielsa's listening now because he knows that this needs sorting out, because I think there was a problem. I think we all knew Bielsa likes to stick with the status quo. We all know that. But there was a point where I'm thinking, Bielsa, Marcelo, we might have to change it, because we don't want to be in the situation now that we later on in the end of the season. So I think it was the right thing in a way. You're upside down. You're diagonal. Sorry, just laughing at that. And I can hear you. Oh dear. Yeah, you're still upside down, actually. You're like, yeah, hopefully he'll come back. I know I can still be heard, but I can still hear you. If you go onto mirror camera on the settings of video, you should get yourself back, flip it round. Try to turn your tablet around. There you go. Yeah, that's worked. We just need to get you unmuted. Yeah, your mic. Yeah. Jeez. No. Check with your audio setting.
Hear me now?
Yes, can hear you.
Right, I'll see if I can plug this back in. Give me a second. Can you hear me?
We're good.
Thank fuck. Wouldn't be us without a little malfunction, would it?
No, not really. Not really.
Do I know something? This is far better. Yeah. Fucking shout out to the guys that fucking restream by. This is far better than doing it through StreamYard. I was playing about with it earlier. So we're on Leeds anyway.
Yeah. The Phillips Bielsa thing. So
do you think it's proper serious? Or do you think it's at a stage that we'll probably cover it after we do United? The Lukaku situation, obviously.
It's serious, but not serious like the Lukaku situation. That is the difference with that.
Do you
one.
think
Lukaku,
it's just been? I think it's just been a difference in what's happened. He came back a bit unfit after playing at the Euros.
Yeah.
And I think all the England players have had a dip since the Euros. Mount, Kane. Let's not even go there with fucking Maguire. Shaw.
Yeah. Rice.
Right. No. Rice has been fucking
No,
brilliant.
I think that's the thing. He's been good.
Rice has just kept it there, but I think he's on the coastal wave at West Ham. I mean, we've not even touched on West Ham or that in this. I thought, right, we'll get our clubs done and then we'll do a bit of a review at the end of the other clubs because it might be a football podcast, but I think we'd rather speak about our own clubs first. Because fuck the rest.
Yeah.
But I just think Jink Phillips can be reintegrated to everything because he's not played much this season.
Yeah.
I do keep an eye on it because obviously all the rumours that, we want him. You know what I mean? And you sort of keep an eye on it. I mean, you don't know what Ralph's really wanting in the summer. But
no, that's true.
I think a couple of players, maybe one or two players in January, I think he's going to be fine. How long's Bamford out for?
I think he's still going to be out for a little bit, for another month, maybe another 2-3 weeks at the minimum, especially because we're not going to get Phillips and Cooper back till March now. So that's where we probably need to hope for.
Phillips is out till March?
Yes, so is Cooper as well.
What's the injury? I know Cooper's injury.
It was his. I think he had the same injury as Cooper did. I think he tore. I don't know if it was like an ACL. It wouldn't be that. It was more his hamstring. So that's why he's not. That's why he's. Yeah.
Can't fuck about it. Man. I've ripped my hand. Well, do you remember I was walking about with a limp for 2 years ago? Right, I ripped my hamstring in half. Basically ripped it in half to basically 6 months. Right, and I wasn't getting first class physio. I walked to basically the zoo back to where you live
Yep.
with it fucked. So, yeah, that wasn't. I've not got first class physios like they did. I did get help. I did get help off a couple of friends who know a football physio, and I got treatment. But it's not like, Cooper will be in the gym, he'll be getting first class physio. Same with Phillips. And the thing is, Cooper's just got himself into that bloody Scotland squad. He was unbelievable against was it Denmark he played?
Denmark, yeah.
He played the Denmark game. He was brilliant. Yeah, because he set up Suter. He put the ball back across for Suter.
He did.
But it's just mad. It's just mad yous are down there. But can it be helped with injuries, man?
No, it can't be helped. It can't be helped at the moment. And I think this is the thing. We have to make sure players like Rafinha is not going to get injured because we know he's now negotiating a new contract at the club, despite there was rumours of him by Munich.
I was going to bring that up. The rumours of Bayern Munich. I don't see Bayern Munich spend 50 million on him.
No,
they don't spend money, mate. They just take all of Borussia Dortmund's best players for free.
That is true.
Upamecano, that list goes so long. I think there's been a score in the United game. Oh no, it's half time. No.
Yeah, so no, I think Bayern Munich and not. I really think, but no, Deco.
I didn't see him spending 50 million, man.
No,
in a COVID season. No, during the fact Germany's behind closed doors and they try to promote one of their youth players. You look at some of the players they've got at Bayern Munich B.
Yeah, Mufasa, who's doing quite well. Who's doing quite well, actually.
And what's his name? What's his name? Joan something Arp.
Oh yeah, Joe. Yeah,
striker.
Arp. Yeah. He's
Joe Van Arp.
Yeah.
They don't. I suppose they got to wait and see what happens with Kingsley Coman.
Because he's in his last 6 months now, isn't it? Because that's the other question. Yeah,
6 months, 18 months, I think.
Yeah, So
you've got to hope you keep a hold of like Rafinha on that. It's a weird one, but if he can keep, he looks destined to play for bigger clubs. I say quote bigger clubs, right? Because Leeds are a big club, right? But I think in his aspirations, he's wanting Liverpool. Let's just say City, your Bayern Munich's. He's already played in Spain. He'll be thinking Barcelona, Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with having the aspirations, but mate, you're playing in the bottom half of the Premier League side. It's not like you're Virgil van Dijk standing out every week. You know what I mean?
No, it's
like he was
true.
at Southampton. But no, I think he'll stay up. I still maintain he'll finish nearer the top 10 than the bottom 6.
We'll just see.
I thought you were going to have a good second season, but it matters on your injuries and your transfers are everything.
It does now, and I think I'm going to keep an eye on what's going on at the club very carefully with the transfer side of things now because if we can get 2 more players in at least, I think we're okay for that. I think that's just enough for us. I think Bielsa knows now. I think after the hug that he had to get from his coach yesterday, from his staff, I think he knows
that.
Yeah,
he looks like he needs to go sit down and smoke 20 Bensons. After that, you see the relief off him. He was just like, whew. I was like, wax on, wax off.
Yeah, because
finishing the end of
finished towards the end of the 2021 was so bad because we had 2 games called off due to our COVID problems. Because we were like, I think before that we had any place had to COVID get affected by COVID.
You got pumped by Arsenal and that. I watched the Arsenal game and I was like, fucking hell, they're shit. And then you look at the starting line and you're going, he shouldn't be playing for Leeds. He's a kid. Somerville came on for Rafinha or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no wonder they're struggling. Somerville and that, they're young lads. And I think that's the thing with Bielsa. I still don't think he's clicked that you need a bigger squad in the Premier League.
I think even that Klopp, will come next
even Klopp's changed that. even Klopp changed his look at it because he's seen players getting injured. I know he sticks with a settled thing, but he always moves one or two out and one and two in.
Yeah. If Bielsa's still there in the summer, I think the club will say to him, you need to have a bit of a big squad now because this can't go on forever. I think the
Because
board will say,
if he lives by this another season, he's going to get sacked. He'll be sacked by December, because I think you're lucky 3 teams below you are fucking shit.
Yeah.
Norwich, Newcastle, and
Burnley.
But Burnley will pick up. They always do. To me, Burnley always pick up. This might be the season Burnley go down. And I don't like that. I've got a love for Burnley. Even though they're Lancashire, I just love Sean Dyche.
Yeah.
But I think we all do. But I think your saving grace might be a bit like Newcastle last year. 3 teams were worse than them. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't think they're savable.
Despite what signings they're going to make, they're not savable. Even with Trippier or Aubameyang, then even if they get Aubameyang, which is crazy,
mate,
they're not savable.
Mate, they could sign Van Dijk, Robinho, and Ronaldo and still not stay up. Sorry, you know what I mean? Because they're shit. Their team's not got a winning mentality, right? It's not like back in the day when Brian Robson went back to West Brom, right? Brian Robson was a West Brom legend, right? You walked in there and went, right, we're fucking having this. Signed, the likes of Kevin Campbell, who's just, those characters don't exist in football anymore.
No, they don't.
I think that's a massive problem. Is there a proper character in football anymore that's like that?
No, it's just more prima donna and fake to footballers. That's what it is.
I'm going off tangent again, right? But I watched a man who would love to get on the channels, Ben Foster. Right, he's like a dream guest. I watched this podcast with Aaron Ramsdale. I tell you what, Ramsdale seems like a proper good lad. Like, bit of a rascal. Loves a bevy. I tell you what, you were throwing some abuse at him when you just played him.
I know.
You hear that, you're just a shit Jordan Pickford. And he took it as a compliment. He's like, that's a fucking compliment. Jordan Pickford's England #1. If I'm a shit Jordan Pickford, I must be doing well. I'm like, he's like 22, man. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And most players just go like, shrink. But nah, it seemed like Dan James in that scoring. You just go get your players back on the field and get winning. I think Bamford coming back is going to be a huge one because you can't rely on what's that young striker's name?
Joe Getta is going to probably be.
He's going to be a player.
He's going to be a player. And I think he's cooked well as the last few weeks that I thought he would have been. But he's going to be a player. Let me tell you that one.
Oh, he is, mate. And I just think, I actually like that, right? Because you've not went out and spent, I don't know, let's just say a 20 million on a Danny Ings, right? He's about, no, we've got him in the academy and he will be played.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got, as I've said, Somerville, you've got Shackleton and all that, you've got players there for the academy and Bielsa's more than willing to use them, but I think it just needs a couple more experience dotted in.
Yeah, it does.
Who's a midfielder I always thought you would re-sign? Lewis Cook. Always thought you'd end up re-signing him.
We all thought it was going to happen this summer, but that never came.
Yeah.
All thought was...
I remember talking to you about it. I went, got to go back in for Lewis Cook, couldn't you? They've just fucked it in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember that was a big transfer a couple of years ago, him leaving Leeds for Bournemouth.
Yeah, it was.
Because that was for big money as well, like 20 million.
It was for big money as well, and like I said, I think he had a bit of an injury season. I think it was last season or the season before. So he had an injury hit season.
Yeah,
so
he's had two really bad seasons with injuries.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest question squad in the whole of this conversation, the Rolf effect, that's meant to be Ralph. I'm just going to hide that. Because that looks fucking stupid. Rolf Rangnick. My bad for my spelling doing that earlier. Weird. It's funny, last time we were on the podcast, I was like, both my managers will end up sacked. And what happened a couple of days later? Ollie got sacked. Still gets me emotional watching that video.
Yeah.
It's been a weird one. It's been a weird transition. I don't even know if he'll look better. You've had a couple of good wins, but I just look at that Newcastle game, man. We were so bad. And probably deserved to lose the game. If it's not for De Gea, I think we lose that game. It's just horrible.
Do you think now, especially the game against Newcastle, a lot of the players have realising that some of them might not be there in this summer because
I'd get rid of about 8 of them, honestly. And fucking hate me if you want, Ronaldo can go. Fucking hate me if you want. It's fucking been a nostalgia trip. Fucking great. What's he done? I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm fucking agreeing with Paul Merson. Something I seen he done. He said, he's like, Sancho, great signing. Varane, great signing. He's like, Sancho one side, Rashford the other, Greenwood or Cavani up the middle. You know, all they needed was another centre mid, and they would have competed. And I thought, I didn't want to admit it. I know Ronaldo's kept a lot alive for us this year.
Yeah.
But I think everyone's looking for Ronaldo on the ball, thinking he's a Ronaldo that we had in 2008. He's a poacher now. Don't get me wrong, he's gave some great moments this season. He has. But I think he was a mistake. Obviously, you can't let him go to City, but I think the whole dimensions of the team's changed.
Yeah.
The whole dimension of the team changed. Greenwood's had less football. You know, it's taken the shine off Sancho. I think Sancho's been affected by it, signing Ronaldo. Not that any club's going to refuse to sign him, but...
No.
I can't believe I'm saying this about Ronaldo.
Because some Man United fans have really kept, I feel like, not said a lot.
He's paid for his sell, isn't he? What a marketing... The mad thing is, I was watching another Man United podcast, right, and they were saying that United basically hadn't put in an offer until 12 hours before it happened. It was basically Rio Ferdinand that got that transfer done. And I think it was on Howson's Brew on Stretford Park. Obviously, he's on Vibe of 5.
Yeah.
And that. But Ronaldo thought United hadn't bid or that. And I think Rio's just made a phone call like, you realise he's on the plane going to City. And within 12 hours, he's back. Because he only goes to City if he doesn't think there's any other options.
Yeah.
They're the only other real team that could afford what he'd want. But I don't know what's happening. I mean, I've knew about Rangnick for a while. Obviously, Klopp talks about him, Tuchel talks about him, and that. I think he's going to have a good effect on the long term of the club. He's cleared out all the deadwood in the coaching staff.
No, that coaching staff had to go. No, they knew.
See, that was my one thing I said in the chat, wasn't it? If we bring in a new manager, they all need to go. That includes Mike Phelan. Listen, Michael Carrick's a Manchester United legend, right? Kieran McKenna done well. Good luck to him at Ipswich, man. Honestly, I hope he does brilliant.
I hope he does well too. I think that's a good move, actually.
Another issue we've got, right? We brought in a fucking set piece coach in the summer. For fucking what? We're just as bad at them. I watched us the other day. I think it was Burnley. I'm going, What's the point putting it in the box? Just fucking smash it back to De Gea.
Yeah.
What's the point? It's got to that point with me. Even though we're like first on like stats wise, we're first on like connecting with the first ball and all that. We're not scoring. I do like the 4-2-2 though. I do like 2 forwards on the field.
Yeah.
And I think I even said McTominay and Fred will not be dropped. Now, like McFred will be the midfield going forward until he can improve it. And you know, this whole interim thing, he's interim coach until we get a new coach in at the end of the season. I think that coach needs to be sorted now. I think it's possible. See if Tuchel gets sacked by Chelsea, Tuchel could be in the dugout at Old Trafford in the summer.
I don't think Tuchel will be sacked, and this is the thing.
I think he might be. I think he could be. There's a lot of talk of Jesse Marsh, the Leipzig coach that just got sacked.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rumours going about Pochettino. I think we all know what I think of fucking Mauricio Pochettino. Don't see it.
No,
Don't see it.
I'm not seeing it now.
Man. My dad likes him. He's not my flavour of not my flavour of drink anyway.
Yeah.
The guy I want's at Ajax.
Ten Hag, yeah.
Ten Hag. Gotta be Ten Hag. I do like the talk of Roberto Martinez though. I do like that talk. I do. I've seen some little talk about that. It can't be Brendan Rodgers. Fucking get that in the bin. Scouse cunt. Ex-Scouse cunt. If Bielsa hadn't been at Leeds, I'd have loved Bielsa at United, but he's fucking Leeds, isn't he?
Yeah, he's now.
And he's like that. He's like that for Leeds as well. I didn't think he'd do that.
You know how much? You know if he did go across the penalties, there's going to be talks and stuff going on the A62. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, it's just. But the problem is with Ralph Rangnick in charge, right? He's an interim boss with a potential boss coming in, and we need signings, man. We need a couple of players in.
Yeah,
there's talk of Amadou Hadara from Leipzig, and some lad at River Plate, a forward.
Julian Alvarez.
Alvarez,
yeah, he's fantastic. I think he's ready for a big move now. For what I've heard about him, what's going to replace?
Yeah, for what I've read about him, it's good, but I've not got a clue who the kid is. Honestly, like
no, he might be the successor to Messi in that Argentina squad, and probably Aguero as well. So I would watch that space because that is being probably talked about for quite a bit, actually. So I think
you have to get rid of the lazy bastard that is Tony Martial.
Yeah, this was not a surprise when I heard the news about him. He wants to leave.
Mate, the minute Ralph Rangnick came in, I looked at Tony Martial and thought, "Yeah, you're fucked." I look at Maguire and think you're fucked. I look at a lot of them and go, "Nah, you're fucked." I think Wan-Bissaka's days may be numbered.
Selling back to Crystal Palace on the cheap.
On the cheap? Fuck off. Fucking 50 million.
You did get some of your money back from Zaha, so,
Oh, no. Palace are too smart with their money, man. Palace are far too smart with their money.
Exactly.
They've got Nathan Ferguson there as a right back, so
True.
They do not need Aaron Wan-Bissaka. They're a team that's really impressed me this year. Palace really impressed me. I love the way they play football. But who's going to take Anthony Martial? I don't know.
Well, it's definitely not going to be Sevilla. It ain't going to be Sevilla.
No, because we're wanting like 6 million transfer fee. No transfer fee, 8 million loan fee or something.
Yeah.
Newcastle last, and I think Martial thought, it's fucking bad enough here, I'm not going there. I think maybe the saving grace this half of the year, David De Gea looks back to his best.
I think that means Dean Henson will go now. I think that means Dean Henson will go.
That's fine. I mean, we've had debates about this. Who's going to stay, who's going to go? And I was like, there's somebody on 400 grand a week. There's somebody on 400 grand a week at the club. And, you know, we're talking about Man United. We've not even spoken about Paul Pogba. That's how irrelevant he is at Manchester United. I don't think he fits anything at United.
No.
Pressing, I've never seen him sprint after the ball in my life. You know who? Do you know somebody who would have loved this system is Wayne Rooney.
Oh yeah, Rooney would
Wayne
have
Rooney
loved
would
that.
have absolutely. I just think of like him, Tevez, and that would have loved.
Oh yeah,
They would have been absolute monsters in this system. Absolute monsters. I don't know what's going on at United. We've clearly got a plan now though. There's clearly a plan there. Where it goes, I'm the wrong person to ask. It's difficult to say, but I fell out of love with it, man. There's just too much bullshit going on. I can't be bothered with it. I think since the Super League shit happened, I think I've lost a lot of love for English football.
Yeah,
I've just lost a lot of love for it because cunts like the Glazers and Abramovich and Kroenke and
makes
just
shit
trying to ruin the league, man.
Yeah.
Sheikh Mansour and the cunts that run Liverpool.
FSG,
To me,
yeah.
FSG, it's a fucking dead. It's going to be a dead league if it's not already. I mean, you look at how much all those teams have spent. United spent ridiculous amount in the summer. City, you know, Chelsea. Even, I mean, Arsenal, the upturn in Arsenal's been pretty good to watch, to be fair, because the young players like Saka, Smith Rowe, and that's been good to see.
Yeah.
Kieran Tierney should probably be their captain. If I'm pointing one thing out, he's probably the only leader at that club.
I think Taylor will be the captain permanently now. I think that is going to happen. Because I think if that leadership group's already decided, I think when once they gets to the end of the transfer window, and I think once with Aubameyang goes for the African
he's got to go.
Nation,
He's got to go. He's an idiot.
Yeah, no, I know he was
always causing trouble at clubs, man. Forever
he did the same at Dortmund.
I know, yeah. I remember that. And where was he before then? St Etienne.
Yeah.
Everyone forget he actually failed at AC Milan.
Yes, I know. Everyone forgets that one.
He's an absolute trouble. I mean, people think, you know, Paul Pogba's a fucking virus. Right, Paul Pogba is trouble, but it's not him as a player, it's the agent. Aubameyang causes his own problems. And I think Arsenal, I think Arteta just went, you know what, had enough, out. You know, he's no fear to get rid of players. Also wasn't seen the minute he walked in.
Yeah, exactly.
I think there's going to have to be a pay-up or some shit there. But he's only, 6 months into that deal, isn't he?
No, a year and a bit, and he's got like 18. Yeah, he's got 18 months left on his contract. So he's been a year.
That, man? That's nearly 100 million. Because he's on about 400k a week. So you're talking, it's 40 million over 10. You're talking nearly 100 million.
Yeah.
It's a £100 million contract. Aubameyang could sit on his arse and just go, fuck you.
I think that's what Arsenal don't want. They don't want that to happen.
With the 300 grand contract.
Well, technically, Arsenal was still paying his contract when he moved. When he moved anyway, they were still paying his contract. So
yeah. Listen,
I think Tierney will become captain once the African Cup of Nations is over, and I think there will be something. I think there will be like a
that's when City will win the league. That's when City will win the league.
Yeah, we all know that.
City win the league, innit? Because Kepa replacing Mendy at Chelsea. Are you having a fucking laugh? Boy's a fucking tit. I've not liked him since that penalty hanging a wee while ago.
Oh, the Carabao Cup when he refused to come off, yeah.
Right, so Sutton coming out of Sky Sports saying, no really touched this, but Lukaku will not leave Chelsea in the next 2 transfer windows.
Yeah.
You just seen that as well?
Just seen it as well, yeah.
What's he doing?
Listen.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna compare, and there's one interview I'm gonna compare this one. Raheem Sterling, Liverpool, 2015. That same scenario again. You can see where this is going.
It's a madness. Do you want to know what the madness is, right? he see all the stuff he's came out. I mean, this interview was done 3 weeks ago, so that was what the Man United game he got dropped for.
And then it was unauthorized.
Mm-hmm. So he's been disciplined. And he's saying he's still in love with Milan, but he's burnt his bridges.
He burnt the bridges. If he loved Inter, he could have stayed there for half these wages that he was on. And I think none of this. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Do you know something? See, if I was Chelsea, right? Harry Kane's finding form, isn't he? Lukaku loves Conte.
Yes.
I'd be on the phone to Levy, right? You didn't want this dick. He's fucking causing problems. How about we just, Harry Kane will be on 200, 300k at Tottenham, right? Lukaku's on 100, 200 grand a week. That's what I'd do. I think Chelsea in that system get the best out of Kane. Right?
Yeah.
And I think Lukaku, Conte get the best out of Lukaku regardless. Because he absolutely loves Lukaku. I mean, I didn't rate him at Man United.
No, you didn't. You never did. I
stood by it. I was like, shite. What are we buying him for? Why are we not getting Morata?
And you see why Morata was shit at Chelsea then. So
that was because of Conte, man. See if he went with Mourinho, we'd have been fine.
Yeah.
I didn't think he leaves English football at all. I think he would have stayed at United. But all the talk was, the Morata deal was seemingly done and Lukaku was going back to Chelsea.
That was
changed. And Lukaku split his dummy 3 months into a 4 or 5 year deal.
Mm.
And it's quite clear Chelsea have backed Tuchel on this.
And I think it's the right thing this time.
It's about bloody time. It's about fucking time they backed a manager over a player.
Because I think for this weirdest, the way that I remember the situation with Costa and Conte, they backed Costa, but they didn't back Conte, and that's what I thought. What are you doing?
Yeah, and I think the changes that have happened at Chelsea, after that, Eva Canero, who's that woman in charge of Chelsea now?
Emma Hayes.
No.
Oh, Miri Gaviskowska. Yeah, Miri Gaviskowska. Yeah.
Her and Peter Cech being sort of player liaison and all that, doing all that. I think they've brought Tuchel to the club and they're like, no, you will be the fucking man. Fuck these players. You're our man. Because there's such a history of Chelsea players just throwing managers under the bus.
Yeah.
And it goes, they didn't do it to Mourinho. Let's just tough that out the first time. They did not do that to Mourinho because when Mourinho left Chelsea, the players were in tears.
Yeah.
But the second time they did,
they threw him under the bus.
Threw him under the bus, straight under. And Hazard done it to Villas-Boas.
Yeah.
It happened to Villas-Boas. It has happened to Conte. I think the new structure at Chelsea is going to help Tuchel. And didn't be surprised if Lukaku leaves on loan. I think that statement that's been put out it can all be. You're not going to turn around and tell the whole world, yeah, he's for sale. Because what happens to his value, it just goes like that.
I'll tell you the one issue. I'm not going to say it. I think this one issue is since Lukaku signed with Jay-Z's Rock Nation Sports agency, I think there's some things behind the scenes. What's going on with that? Yeah, exactly. And this is what I have been critical with that with the Rock Nation Sports agency, thinking why are you talking this and making you
plays football.
Yeah,
Let the boy plays football. Just let him play football, man. I just think it's a whole mess. I think it's funny. I knew this when they work. They should have just stuck with Horne. Because he started scoring for Chelsea again somehow.
Yeah.
He picked the wrong club. He should have went Liverpool.
We all said that. Even Doug was saying that.
He should have went Liverpool or United. Counter-attacking teams.
Exactly.
Can you imagine
he would have got the goals.
Rashford, Sancho, Werner. Even look at Liverpool, Salah, Mane. Werner does the same role as Firmino there. You know. But Chelsea, I think Chelsea are in a mess. I think if they didn't get their shit sorted, they could find it a fit. Do you know what? I actually seen a stat earlier. Tuchel's Chelsea right now are only 6 points ahead of what Lampard's Chelsea with the transfer banner.
Bloody hell. Right. So this
Now,
is the end.
that comes from Rory Jones on the kickoff. Right? He's never wrong with his stats, man.
No.
And that's mad. That's a madness. But I think that, as well, that comes with the Premier League's probably the best Premier League it's been since, what, 2008, 2009?
Yeah.
Back when they were constantly winning European competitions. You know what I mean? It's a mad one. But I just think football's gone mad. It's been mad in England again. Like player control, and we've not even spoke about what Paul Pogba's situation is. Do you want to know why? I don't give a fuck anymore.
Fuck anymore, you don't.
Fuck him, man. Just let him go. I more care what they're going to do with Jesse Lingard. You know what I mean? I more care about people like him, and is Ragnick going to back Greenwood and that, like... And if anyone's seen his goal against Young Boys... Oh.
Yeah.
But no, I think United will still finish top four. I think we're better than Arsenal.
Yeah, you are.
I think we're better than Arsenal. I think we're better than West Ham. Finish third or fourth, maybe. But we're lucky we've not got players going to African Cup of Nations. It's only Eric Bailly that's going. Eric Bailly, he's made the glass anyway, so... Unfortunately, he's made the glass because he's a psychopath on the field. You just know there's... Did you see that video of him trying to hit a shot?
Yes.
How good's that, by the way? Tries to hit a shot, scuffs it. Oh, it's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but I think we've came to the end of everything, Carl. Because I think if I start, I'm just going to go on a rant about how shocking English football is.
I know you are.
Player control.
I know.
And it's boring to listen to every time I talk about it. But Carl, as always, thank you very much. Absolute pleasure.
Well, you're welcome. Yes.
I fucking hope your PCRs come back negative, man.
I hope so, because this weekend, I'm hoping, because from next week, I hope people are wearing glasses as much now, because I've been wearing contact lenses. So that is going to be a little bit changed. I can get that sorted out. But yeah, hopefully this PCR test goes back negative, because I have to admit, these it's just going to kill me if I'm going to be stuck in in my study room like my partner did back in November. I can't have that.
Well, if you've got it, she can't go it anyway, so it's not going to really matter, is it?
I know, but I think we're going to just do the usual thing what we did last time.
Just keep it wondering.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. You'll end up doing... You know what will end up happening, right? You'll end up doing tons of YouTube shit.
That's what I'll be doing. That's what I'm doing. That's why I got my laptop here, just in case. So
yeah. All set up and ready to go.
Yeah.
Right. But once again, thanks very much, Carl. Good to hear from you as always. And we'll be back next week because I've got a fucking massive schedule coming out for this place. I'm interviewing the band Dictator on Friday night at 5 o'clock. That'll be going out the following Monday. And I've got loads more guests lined up for the Andy Rogers podcast next week. Hopefully we're going to have Sean Guyton back on, possibly PC if he's not working. In on time, because he'll be visiting his dad tonight. But we'll be back next week. It'll be Monday or Tuesday, as always. Gonna have to check both our schedules, obviously.
Yeah, we do, because hopefully maybe I'm going to stay in the schedule that I'm doing, which I think I like today, a lot quieter. So yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully next Monday. If not, it'll be the Tuesday.
Yeah.
But I'll put it out on all the socials. And Carl, I'll see you next week, man. Thanks very much.
Take care.
Cheers. Bye.